Hi guys, I'm Forrester here with another pen video. Now this one will be fairly short and sweet. It's about three vintage pens that belong to my wife. They were in my wife's family. I don't know very much about them. We actually found them in this container with this rubber band on, and I did look at them. I'm a little bit afraid to even mess with them. I don't want to break anything any more than they are already. Um, but so two of these belong to my wife's mother. I'm going to start with this short one. What does that remind you of? Doesn't that remind you of the Kaweco Sport? I don't have a Kaweco Sport, but I know they're very popular. And some people might think that those were is a recent trend. Well, this was my wife's mother. Her pen. She recalls seeing her write with it. Now this has a bladder, and then you fill it with ink with this lever. There's parts missing. The tail cap evidently is missing off of this, and it unscrews. Her name, her mother's name, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but it's engraved on this barrel. Or actually, let's see, it's engraved on the cap right there, but I doubt you're going to be able to see it. So this is very small. You probably had to write with it posted. Posted, it's a pretty good size. That feels comfortable. It's very light. That nib is in pretty bad shape. See if you can see that. And let me take my glasses off. I have to read without my glasses if I'm going to see something that small. And I'm not going to be able to make it out. It's just, it's too dirty, and I haven't tried to polish it up or anything. But I thought that was very unique. So the Kaweco Sport didn't come up with the idea for the short pen. So now let me set that aside. This is the next one I'll show, and this has some very unusual colors in it. So there's some blonde or goldish color, and then some dark colors. This has the bladder in it too, and you fill it with the lever, fill it full of ink. Now, this one, let's see. I think I could read the name. Yeah, this is a Schaefer. I can't read the small writing, but I can see Schaefer. So let me show you the nib on that one. Maybe you can make that out. So that nib's in better shape. And I think this was the pen that my wife said she recalls her mother writing letters with. So this one got use, both of these. So her mother was born, I don't know, somewhere around 1930, I think, maybe a little bit before that. So I would say both of these date to the 1940s or 50s, somewhere in there, if I just had to guess, which I don't really know. Now, this is the pen that's special, so I wanted to show this to you. I haven't polished it at all. This is just how we found it. It's very thin, very long. It doesn't have threads, so the cap just slides down over here. And there's the cap. There's nothing really there, nothing on the other end either. The thing that's very unique is somewhere on here, yeah, right here above my finger, it says sterling. So this is sterling silver. And somewhere right here above my finger are the initials for the lady that owned it. So this was like a great aunt of my wife's. I don't know if you can see that. It's hard for me to make it out myself in person, but the initials are W-E-M. Her last name was McKnight. And her middle name, E, stands for Elmore, which is my wife's middle name. So I was looking at this one a little bit. This one might actually have some value. It's in the best shape of these three. But if you unscrew it, the feed here is very long, and I think so. I actually turned it upside down and was tapping it, and the some powder, ink powder, it had dried and it came out of the pen and made a little bit of a mess on the table. I cleaned it up, and when I cleaned it up, the color of the ink came out. So it was like a turquoise colored ink that was used. So that ink probably, now uh, the great aunt was born in 1896, and I don't know when she came about this, but it was probably in the first half of the 20th century, maybe the 1920s or 1930s. But that ink was probably that old, maybe 100 years old, but you can still sort of see the color of it. But I don't see any name on this pen for the manufacturer, but I've never seen anything like it. And the fact that this is sterling silver probably makes it very valuable. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. I did want to read, so there was this note. This note was with the pen, and it says sterling silver fountain pen owned by Elmore McKnight when she was a young lady before she was married. Note the initials on the pen, WEM. So, some of these pens I know in my collection, I'll show that one real quick. So in my collection, I have this pen. It's not a valuable pen. It does have a very interesting nib. If you can see that. It's curly cute at the end. But I recall my dad writing with this pen, and this is the pen that maybe gave me the desire to get into fountain pens later in life. So anyway, historic or family-owned pens can become treasures whether they're made out of sterling silver or cheap plastic at a dime store. Okay. What pens do you have in your family? And for those of you that haven't given fountain pens a try, give them a try. Most of the people that watch my channel are into guns and knives, it seems like, and that's sort of how I got my start. But I'd encourage you to give fountain pens a try. Everything I write seems more significant if I write it with a fountain pen. Y'all take care.